In this video, we're going to talk about inventory direct consumption. And this is the process of consuming inventory to a record to which it has been used that is outside a predefined process. So for example, some predefined processes we have in order to consume inventory would be the technical order consumption, where we consume parts that are being used in a repair or in a build, or our service process, where we are consuming items to a service request, in which case we already have workflows and screens in order to facilitate those consumptions. Other examples would be inventory that has been drop shipped or sold and is consumed. So this would be something that's more of a custom process specific to your org, and you want to facilitate being able to consume inventory to an object or a record that maybe is even outside the legendary supply chain application. And this inventory direct consumption via inventory logs will facilitate that. So for example, right now we are on a project, and on this project I would like to consume inventory directly to this project and say I've used this inventory on this project. So where I would go is I have added a legendary search component to the inventory usage tab under this project. And actually a component page with a couple search components. So I'm showing my inventory consumed that I have already consumed here. And I'm showing my select inventory tab here where I can consume additional inventory. So for example, if I want to consume this item and this item, I can select these and click consume. One of these is a multi-quantity item. I do not wish to consume all of it, so I'm just going to say I want to consume 2. And then I can see here in my dynamic entry screen, I have the inventory field defined, which will tell me which inventory I'm going to consume. My inventory status and stage, which need to be what we consider offset inventory status and stages, meaning that it's going to offset the inventory and the inventory will no longer be in stock. Those offset status and stages are defined under legendary setup in inventory settings. I also need my quantity to consume. So this will be the quantity that I am consuming, and we need the reference ID. This is the object, or the record ID to which the item is being consumed. No, I would also recommend just adding a lookup or a reference field to the object of which you are consuming the record. So if this was a custom object outside the legendary supply chain application, you could add a reference field to what is the inventory log object, and you could set this up in the dynamic entry screen and the search component field mappings. And so then it would fill out both the reference ID and the actual lookup field on the inventory log. Additionally, I also have the notes field that I can see here. Now, a couple things that I don't see, there are fields mapped in the back end on this dynamic entry screen. The field and the type field. So these two fields are hidden from the page, but in this section on the field, I could go in here and set this default manually or map this via the field mappings from the selections that I've made earlier. And I could fill out an API name of a field on the inventory record that would then populate a lookup or reference field with the same ID that is here. The only reason I would use this is if you want to stamp the reference to which that inventory was consumed directly on the inventory. And this would allow you to do that. So in my example here, it would actually stamp the project onto the inventory that had been consumed. And then we also need to set the type. This is very important. This is what tells all of the automations to fire. And the type is going to be set manual, which means it's just going to be default and the field is hidden. And it's going to be a type of inventory log of direct inventory consumption, which again is what tells this to fire. And I can see here is the inventory log, direct inventory consumption, dynamic entry screen. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And this is going to, now I split 2 out from here, the other item's been consumed. And if I go to my inventory consumed tab here, then I can see those inventories that have been consumed. And I also have the ability to go in here and undo any of this consumption as well. So if I want to reverse this, I can also click reverse, confirm the reversal, and that will undo my consumption. And this inventory log and direct inventory consumption process can be facilitated via a dynamic entry screen with search components like this, or standard flows or additional customizations done in your org directly. Thank you very much.